Are the Red Sox fixed now? Like, are the Red Sox now? We shouldn't complain about the personnel per se. Um, we just need to kind of say this is the team as it is. It's gonna be fine in some spaces. They probably don't have enough starting pitching. They might have enough in the bullpen, at least when they're playing from ahead. And their lineup is gonna either hit dingers or strike out.
Yeah, I mean, I I make not a whole lot of the series win over the Yankees because I think that Yankees team is terrible. I think we're at least in a spot now where the Red Sox are comfortable enough that like we're talking whatever year that Phillies September collapse was, where they needed to win like 3 games and they couldn't. I think we're talking that level just because I don't think Cleveland is going to catch them. And then, Texas is far enough out. Like it looked for a little bit, maybe Texas or Anaheim would make a run, but like we're talking monumental collapse territory. Um, the thing that I'm almost more encouraged by the Red Sox roster thinking about it through the lens of a playoff structure than I am like trying to get in down the stretch, because you pretty much need 3 starters in the postseason. Like that's it. Crochet's fine. Bayo's been great, and Giolito's been great. So you have those 3. I feel way better about the bullpen when you look at it through Dustin May's probably going there. Walker Bueller's probably going there. At this point, I think Walker Bueller just needs to make a full fledged transition into being Andrew Miller. And hey, who knows? Maybe this is the start of it. But like, I think that guys end up in better roles that way. And then you start squeezing out, the Jordan Hicks of the world, the ones you're a little less certain on, probably Justin Wilson. Like I know they like him as the lefty specialist, but and you're getting Slayton back. So all of this is to say is like, yeah, I would say they're like, I don't know if fixed is the right terminology. It's still a team with plenty of holes, but I think they at least have enough of a cushion that we don't have to worry about them being fixed enough to make the playoffs. And then when I think about like, well, how is this roster constructed for the playoffs? I actually feel a little bit better. So
They're 94% to make the playoffs according to Fangraphs. So yeah, not doing so would be pretty significant choke. And I mean, if you just look ahead, they've got Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Arizona, and then the Athletics. So like before they before the Yankees come to Boston in the middle of September. So like this thing could be pretty done and dusted by the middle of September. I I don't know if they're good, but like they they have a high ceiling, I think. If like you want to call their ceiling making the World Series, that is on the table, depending on how aggressive they want to get with their pitching and through the after the wild card. Like I think if they're willing to say we have a chance to win the World Series here and we're cool with using Garrett Crochet out of the bullpen on his throw day, to get an inning here like they have in the past with starters, and if they want to get real carried away and they want to say, hey, surgically repaired Lucas Giolito, you just hit your innings limit, so you can opt out anyway. So we're just gonna run you into the ground. Like that's I'd feel better about them because that's just I think that is where Cora's strength is like finding those leverage opportunities, whether it's with his starters or with his bullpen. I think they've got probably the best back end of the real American League contenders, just because like Chapman has been truly elite, and gold star to Craig Breslow for that one. And I absolutely love Garrett Whitlock, and if he's healthy, which looks like he is, like the two of them in the back end of a bullpen, plus whoever you're piggybacking to get there, whether that's a starter on an off day or like a guy who got moved to the bullpen, like Dustin May playing up out of the bullpen is far more intriguing to me than. Um, but like yeah,
He
he sucks as a
terrifies me out
starter.
of the bullpen. He's
Sure, but
oh,
like
I love
they're gonna
Dustin May out of
but
the
he's a
bullpen.
yeah
bum waiting to happen. You can't bring him
yeah,
into
but
Let
it's
this.
him
Oh,
let him out there and let it rip.
you're taking away
Go
some of
make him
the
manage a
variance.
game
And
for 6 innings.
yeah,
Let him.
if he throws two
He
balls to
needs
the
to go
first
into
guy,
Joe. He needs to go in the Joe Kelly bucket.
Yeah,
Just
like yeah,
let it
and
rip.
keep somebody loose, like you know,
Yes.
just in
Doesn't
case.
he?
But
Doesn't he give up a home run like every 5 innings or something like that? Like it's
Right,
well,
so you pitch him. Well, you
we're only
pitch
pitching
him
one,
one
so-
inning, and then you
Yeah.
space that out.
we got a
Thank you
20%.
for making my point.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
80% chance of getting through it. Yeah.
Yeah,
But like we were talking about I don't know if this was last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever. Talking about the Red Sox and the Yankees. I think this might have been 2 weeks. And my bold prediction is like that the Yankees will still win a playoff series. And like the Red Sox and Yankees playing in that wild card series, I'd probably take the Yankees because like I just think the talent is still better there. And I think Fried
yeah, 5 homers.
is awesome.
5 homers from Judge, Bellinger, and Stanton
Right,
would
right.
change
And,
everything.
like,
yeah.
And
yeah.
Devin Williams finds it for 3 days. And that, you know, or like they have
just
5
like
guys.
last year.
What's that? Yeah.
So just like
that's-
last year in the playoffs.
But they've got enough talented arms at the back of the bullpen that like they could run into a usable, you know, pattern or you know, situation that they can use those guys in, and like they get like that's just such a small sample size that I'd lean toward the talent there. But if the Red Sox can get through that, yeah, I think the AL stinks. Like it's
It's
just
bad, yeah.
they're just as likely to get knocked out in the wild card, in my opinion, as they are to go to the World Series.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I mean,
Odd-
like, do you
odd-
trust the Tigers? Like, that's the team it's like Tigers, Mariners. I don't think the Astros this year are good. Like, the Mariners intrigue me, but they're going to be a wild card team.
as much as people
most likely.
as much as people like shout about the Mariners though, with their having an elite pitching staff and winning the trade deadline, they're still like scratching and clawing, like just to
Gilbert
get in.
hasn't been good.
Plus, like you get better arms, like explosive stuff, and you can pitch around their 2 bats. Like it's everything is they feel like they're far more built for 162 than they are for 5 or 7.
And this is like, as someone who has bitched about the Red Sox for the entire series, like I just recently I took a step back and kind of like looked at them in comparison to all the other contenders, both AL and NL, and they have looked fine for as great a portion of this season as any team. Like that includes like the Dodgers, the Padres, the Brewers, who now have the best record in the league. The Tigers got off to a very hot start, but they've been whatever since basically July. But the Red Sox, I mean, they've had some terrible cold streaks, but like actually looking at those cold streaks of like a week and a half here and there, like they have been overall a fine team all season long. And that's why, like, yeah, Mike, I could see the scenario you're talking about them, losing to the Yankees in the playoffs. I could also see them going all the way because, like, even a lot of those really good teams, they have injuries or other things are hitting them right now at maybe the worst time. Some of the teams that have looked the strongest, like the Dodgers, all their injuries are really starting to pile up, and they've been fortunate that they've been playing the Padres a lot. The Dodgers have had injuries. They've been fortunate they've been playing the Padres a lot because even though the Padres are a good team, the Dodgers have kind of been able to stay a step ahead of them. But I mean, the Blue Jays, as much confidence as you just expressed in the Red Sox bullpen, the Blue Jays bullpen is a problem. And just like I just said about the Yankees, that they can get all of a sudden they could have a 12 homer game and change the complexion of a series. The Blue Jays, I was really shocked to see that they don't hit homers, really. Not really what you expect from a team that plays at Rogers Center. The Phillies their pitching rotation has totally fallen apart. The Mets, now the Mets, what Pedro's calling them the World Series favorites when, for the last 4 weeks, we were talking about them possibly being the biggest white elephant in the history of Major League Baseball. All that to say, like, every team has problems, and on balance, the Red Sox's problems aren't all that great compared to a lot of the other teams in especially the American League.
They're just not as good though. Like,
That's a good point.
you know what I mean? I think that's the biggest knock on them. But
I'm someone who's generally like anti build your team around a bunch of veterans, but I can almost talk myself into this team being so perfectly constructed for the playoffs, because it's like, can you not see Nathaniel Lowe being a very like solid postseason performer for them? Like, can you not see that from Walker Buehler? Like, you get Trevor Story. Like, is Trevor Story not 32-year-old due for a solid postseason run? And that's not to say it happens. That's not to say that they haven't safeguarded themselves a bunch, or exposed themselves, I guess, left themselves exposed to a bunch of things. But it is the type of team where you can start to think in an open American League. It's like, well, there's enough experience there. If you're bought in enough on Roman Anthony and you think Bayo's going to be good enough, yada, yada, like, you can dream on that. So I don't know. There's something to that. That's not me, taking the Pedro route and saying this Red Sox team is going to be World Series champs, but
for what it's worth, for what it's worth, I value the veterans, and I am all about them.
Oh, I bet you do.
In the fall.
There need to be more 38-year-olds getting at bats.
Yeah. Nathaniel Lowe is like diet version of Kyle Schwarber. Like, the most like literal sense, the first time in any time he's been called diet anything. But like, those are the guys though that like Tarek Skubal is gonna shove it so far up Trevor Story's ass that, like, you know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff where it's like, I like Trevor Story, but like, we've seen him have troubles with elite pitching, and like, that's what elite pitching is. I hate to bring this up once again, but like, I'd feel a lot better with Rafael Devers in this lineup. Like,
yeah, sure.
You know what I mean? It's
like, talk about experience.
Yeah, or like guys who can hit good pitching. Like, so I still think they're, like, on the whole, they're a little early, but that's not really an excuse anymore for like kind of the reasons that Ben laid out, where it's like they are just as live as pretty much anyone else.
I was listening to this is just me being an insane person. So I was listening to a Giants broadcast on the radio because I was driving someplace.
KMBR.
You just hate the Fleming family. You just hate listening to the other Fleming. Oh my God.
Yeah, that is good catch, Mike. Yeah. You'll listen to Dave, but not Will.
So basically, it comes up to Rafael Devers' turn at bat, and he's not ready. So like, he wasn't out in the on deck circle. He just was not ready. He was DHing that day, and he wasn't in the dugout. So like, and so they're like, we have a momentary delay. It appears that Rafael Devers. So like, he comes running out up the steps. He's like putting on his like gloves and stuff. Like, as he walks out there, he like grabs a bat. He takes like no practice swings, and it was Dave Fleming. And his
Rafael Devers takes would look a lot better if he would just get his shit together. But it's just like,
So like, what happens is, like, so they're I think it was, I don't know, Will Clark or somebody are talking about like
who loves Devers.
Well, yeah. So they're like you got to be ready. Like, this guy is not hitting well lately. You want to see someone ready to go when it is his time at bat. Steps in there, swings wildly at a pitch low and away, and they're like, oh, this guy is not ready. And then he launches an opposite field double. And it's like, that's the Rafael Devers experience right there. He's not ready to bat. He looks bad on the first breaking ball, and then he hits a double in San Francisco, the windiest, hardest place to get an extra base hit.
It's remarkable how much worse he's been there. Like, I'm just looking at it right now. Like, his OPS is nearly 200 points lower with San Francisco than it was here.
Yeah. Well, to the point, I mean, just while we're talking about Devers and, these guys being kids and their ages and whatnot, is there anyone who needs to grow the F up more than Rafael Devers does? Like, how old is that guy now? 29, 28? Like, he's eternally 21. Like, he just got called up. And there's a certain point, like, I'm not, I think there was a lot of misplaced anger with him throughout that whole thing. But that's one of those things where I totally buy, like, dude, you're almost 30. You got to grow up. Like,
well, like, it's a different variation of that same thing, but like, talking about Antonio Brown earlier. Like, I don't think he's,
Yeah.
in that level of cancerous or whatever, but it does kind of feel like, hey, man, like, you can keep on hitting 25 to 35 home runs every year and have a 750 to 900 OPS and you'll go to the Hall of Fame, but it's like, and you're going to make, I don't see what the drawback is for him. So, like, maybe it just won't change because what does he have to gain by doing it? He already has a ring, technically. Like, whatever.
No, I mean, he was a big contributor to that. I mean, God bless him. I as a human, I don't blame him for being like, I'm going to do what's comfortable for me. But there is a consequence to that in terms of how
the
you might be
consequence is
perceived,
the
so.
reputation in Logan Mullen and Mike Cole's eyes. Like,
Exactly, and that means a lot.
Right,
That carries a lot of weight.
Yeah.
But there
I'd
is
be like, oh, Logan thinks I'm a piece of shit. That's even better, man. Like, this is
You've
great.
been living with that for years.
Yeah, right. I sleep fine at night, and I'm not making $35 million a year either.
Yeah.